This week on Wake Up Whitewater, we'll take a look at protests happening around campus.
We'll look at the behind the scenes of a UWW-TV live events and a studio interview with our student body president.
All this and more on Wake Up Whitewater.
Broadcasting from Conover Studio at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, this is Wake Up Whitewater.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Wake Up Whitewater. I'm Kayla C. alongside Alex Lindblom and Justice Brazelton.
And it's Kayla's birthday! Woo!
And we have these wonderful cupcakes from our wonderful producer as well.
Happy birthday, Kayla.
Yay!
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 How old are you?
I'm 22.
22.
I'm old now.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Let's try these cupcakes.
Oh yeah, I love me a
very
cupcake.
good.
They're better than the cake. I don't need a full cake.
Yeah,
just a little
you just
piece.
need a little
And
bit.
I like the bread, not the frosting.
I like the frosting.
I'm not a frosting
I like
girl.
both.
Sometimes it's too sweet, you know?
Yeah.
I have
feel that.
sensitive teeth.
That is
I
true.
feel that.
So there was a snow day on Monday.
Yes.
Did you guys have a good snow day? It's very rare to get a snow day here.
Yeah.
So it was like record level snow across Wisconsin.
Yeah, I was super excited getting the notification on my phone that it would be canceled, all classes, but once I realized I had nothing to do, I was insanely bored.
That was me as well.
Believe me, I was bored too. The news never stops and neither do you. We'll be right back with more after this break.
We'd love to show you what it's like to be a war hawk.
Come on!
Don't miss out on your chance to be a war hawk.
At UW Whitewater.
You belong here.
She's always had it. Pure ambition. An unbridled self-confidence that most people only dream of. You see it driving her, empowering her, and in time, you see it fueling her future. Perhaps even helping her blaze a new trail. All she needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the Universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities. Unlimited opportunity.
I'm Peyton Walls, and this is your UWW TV News Update. Over the weekend, a historic winter storm warning impacting the upper Midwest caused Governor Tony Evers to call a state of emergency in Wisconsin. Wind gusts were in the 40 to 55 mile per hour range, bringing blizzard conditions to many areas across the state. Here at UWW, all in-person classes, events, and activities were canceled on Monday, March 16th due to blizzard warnings. While Whitewater received just shy of 4 inches, other areas got 6 to 12 inches of snowfall. Temperatures are now at a high of 20 to 30 degrees for the remainder of the week. The groundbreaking for Winther and Heidi Hall renovation is set for Friday, April 17th, starting at noon. Guided tours of the building and appetizers will be available. Those who plan to attend the ceremony are asked to register by Friday, April 10th, and construction on both buildings is set to begin in May of 2026, with classes expected to resume in the spring of 2029. And we'll have more news on UWW TV right after this.
All right, who's next?
Next candidate is Willie Warhawk.
Okay, Willie, let me help you get set up here.
All right, you can tell Willie to start reading whenever he's ready. That's great. Cut.
Great job, Willie. Thank you for coming in today. We'll be in touch. Next!
Class registration for the fall of 2026 semester is on the way, and One Stop is here to help with questions or concerns about academic success. Located in room 129 of the University Center, One Stop works closely with the Financial Literacy Center to help students remove holds from their school accounts and guide students through scholarship and financial aid. To learn more about One Stop's resources before class registration opens up, visit uww.edu/onestop. Finally, the UW-Whitewater Police have received several reports of thefts, including electric scooters, bicycles, and items in vehicles. The vehicles showed no signs of forced entry, and the scooters and bicycles were left unsecured in various areas. The UWW-PD is reminding everyone to please ensure vehicles are locked whenever they are left unattended. Bicycle and scooter locks are available in Goodhue Hall free of charge. For more news and other updates, tune in to uwwtv.org. I'm Peyton Walls, and this has been your news update on UWW TV.
Last week, members of the community joined by local government officials gathered to protest in support of women's rights during Women's History Month. The event highlighted the importance of gender equality and ongoing efforts to protect and advance women's rights. Our very own 22-year-old Kayla C. has more on the story.
Behind me are activists who are fighting for women's rights, equalities, and freedoms this Women's History Month. The event was organized with Women's March Local, the American Federation of Teachers, and the UW-Whitewater Student Organization Peace. Advocates say this is the fourth protest of its kind, with participants marching through the city of Whitewater.
Today we have a march going on to speak of what's going on with the SAVE Act, the attack on women's rights, and just the demonizing of the women vote.
Participants say that this rally is meant to draw attention to concerns about how women's issues are addressed in government.
A lot of our labor has gone unrecognized and unnoticed, and you can see that in the policies that happen in the legislature, which is one of the reasons why I decided to run for the legislature. Is women and children and healthcare and education are super important things, and they seem to be deprioritized a lot. So I want to be out here supporting whoever is willing to march for women and just recognize what we've been doing for society for millennia.
Brown says representation in government can influence the policies that affect women across the state.
There needs to be a recognition of the representation that's out here. I suspect many people who do not follow politics really closely may not even realize that they have a female representative and that we've done some really amazing things. We just closed out our assembly session last month, and we fought for women to be able to afford mammograms and for women on Badger Care to be able to get postpartum Medicaid coverage after they have a child, and so, or at least to extend it. And we also fought for PFAS, which is forever chemicals in the water. A lot of people up north can't even drink their water or water their gardens and eat their vegetables. And these are all things that have been deprioritized for at least a decade and not taken care of at all.
Supporters say that gatherings like this help keep those issues in the public conversation.
Women's History Month in general, the entire month of March, we're just out here celebrating. No one should just get a singular day to be celebrated or to have issues brought upon. It's not just a trend. It's not something that happens every year like Christmas or Hanukkah or Valentine's Day. It's something that's ongoing and still needs to be recognized internationally. We need to open those minds so that we can move forward more clearly and more effectively as a society.
But organizers say that activism does not stop with protests.
Voting matters, even from the local elections, not just the federal, not just presidential, from school districts, city council, county board. We gotta vote at every race. We all pay our taxes, right? And we contribute. And like I said, at the end of the day, it does make a difference.
Those involved say they hope events like this encourage more people to stay engaged and continue advocating for women's rights during Women's History Month and beyond. For UWW-TV, I'm Kayla C.
Thank you, Kayla. Now, having been there, what was it like at that protest?
Yeah, there was a lot of energy. This was the fourth time that this group has done this. And it was really cold. It was just coming off of a really warm day. So they were very dedicated to be there in the cold. Have you guys ever seen anybody protesting on campus before?
Yeah, on campus, a ton. I mean, it's awesome that it's such like a free environment that you can honestly just go in and protest what you want. And I think that's the amazing part. Also, my hometown, there's a lot of protesting back there. But yeah, I mean, I think it's an amazing opportunity for everyone.
Right. I think that's nice that they can, kind of have it on campus and then integrate it into the community as well.
Yeah, they marched throughout campus and the city. They were by the Walgreens and the McDonald's over on Main Street, and that's kind of where they stood there for like a good 20-30 minutes before marching again. So it was really interesting to see this kind of movement that I haven't seen before of people actually marching. But yeah, protesting is a really great way that people can get out their thoughts to the community. We really do have a really great show for you all today. Coming up next, learn how you can prevent illness, and we'll welcome a UWW-TV supervisor into our studio. We'll be back with more on Wake Up Whitewater right after this.
So we go here on 91.7 The Edge, your station for sports, news, and of course, music, with our extensive music library of alternative, rock, and hip-hop. All for you, all right here on 91.7 The Edge.
The UW Whitewater Bookstore is your one-stop shop for apparel, textbooks, and technology. Stop in for a wide selection of gifts from our alumni, family, and name brand sections. Need to purchase or rent a textbook? Head downstairs to Textbook Services. Check out our new custom shop and create personalized apparel for your organization. Need a charger, laptop, or headphones? Our new technology section has everything you might need. For more information and bookstore hours, visit uwwhitewaterbookstore.com.
This is For the Health of It. I'm Nora Hooper. Today, we'll be discussing the importance of hand washing, especially during flu season. The flu spreads primarily via droplets, but it can also be transmitted through contaminated surface that are touched by others. Did you know that 19% of people don't wash their hands after using the restroom? Most of the time, washing your hands isn't a task you think hard about. However, properly washing hands is an important practice to have at all times.
So the right way, of course, is to have water running. You do want to have running water because you're trying to scrub everything off. So of course you want to get a good amount of soap. It doesn't have to be a ton, but enough to have a good lather. And then you need to scrub. You're causing friction on your hands and you're trying to remove everything. So you have to remember that everything is invisible. You cannot see that for the most part with the human eye.
Hand washing doesn't always need specific instructions, though you can choose what works best for you.
Whatever the preference of the individual washing their hands truly is okay. Research shows that either one is effective. So if you have any kind of greasy, oily things, sometimes warm water is better at getting it off. But as far as hot and cold, for killing germs, either one is fine, as long as you're doing all the other steps.
And while the task is a necessity to protect yourself and others, there can be some elements added to the importance of washing your hands properly.
If you are washing your hands properly for the proper amount of time, you'll never get rid of all of them, but you do get rid of enough where it should definitely reduce your chance to get sick or spread germs further. But again, if you're not fully scrubbing, then it's even higher risk. They have fun things for kids to do. It's like germ, and it glows in the dark, and they have kids wash their hands, and you see afterwards how much is left on your hands, and it's a good lesson. And I think it's fun for adults too.
And there you have it, a full rundown of the importance of washing your hands. Our experts remind us that the duration of hand washing does impact the effectiveness. Lastly, according to the CDC, some of the best times to wash your hands include before and after eating food, after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing, and of course, after using the restroom. Let's make a healthier world, just for the health of it. I'm Nora Hooper.
Hello and welcome back to Wake Up Whitewater. Bree Lucine is our live events programming and operations supervisor here at UWW-TV. Today we'll take a look behind the scenes of how she directs major sports broadcasts and other live events.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Welcome to Roomies!
Hi, my name is Bree Lucine, and I am one of the student supervisors here at UWW-TV. I oversee all sports and live event programming, as well as just technical operations.
The following is a special sports presentation of UWW-TV.
I started off as a practicum student, and actually I was one of the setup techs for basketball, and that's how I got introduced to UWW-TV. So I started working on any and all live events, whether it be basketball, football, volleyball, even just music productions. Coming into the studio and helping out with just random tapings of different shows. So if it was Hawk Talk, it could have been just any multitude of shows. I was the hands-on tech, so I would be setting up cameras, setting up tripods, understanding the ins and out of our production truck that goes off-site to our broadcasts that are at the gym, at Perkins Stadium. And I know how to set up any and all equipment that we have here, which is really exciting. With other behind-the-scenes stuff, I also direct then for most of those games. So understanding how a production looks, depending on what sport we're doing. I need to understand the sport, I need to understand how to communicate with my crew members and lead them, making sure students are understanding, if they're in practicum, what shots I'm looking for, how to improve a broadcast, graphics, replay, audio, all that jazz, just the entire gambit of a broadcast.
Klinkner going to fake the knee down, it looks like, and he's got a man in the end zone. Blake Haggerty, touchdown.
I love live event production simply because it's live. Don't mess it up, you know? But it's that you don't get a different authentic feeling than that. You don't get to go in and edit things in post. It's happening as it's happening. Live coverage is always so cool. You never know what's gonna happen. I don't know the end of the basketball game. I don't know the score until it happens. And you get to bear witness to what you're putting on TV with the people that are watching, which is really, really cool to me. One piece of advice to students or people going into this field, I would definitely say learn your equipment, learn your strengths and weaknesses. It is so okay to not be good at something. I started off in live broadcasting, and so moving into post-production or pre-production has been a growth area for me recently. Do not be afraid to start somewhere and ask your questions. I would say a good baseline for anyone wanting to get into live events, know your equipment, understand how to properly wrap cables. It's really important to understand the equipment that you're working with, how to format things and keep the equipment healthy in a way, how to put it away correctly, how to set it up correctly, how to tear down correctly. It's very important for the longevity of your equipment and for your overall comfortability when operating it. So definitely that would be my advice to live sports people trying to get into the field, but also ask questions. There are so many people that are willing to help you. It's really cool learning from other people and taking on different roles.
Hi, Bree. Welcome to the studio, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I've always wanted to be on Wake Up Whitewater.
Of course. Did you want to tell us about maybe a live event that stuck out to you that you've covered?
Yes, one that comes right to the top of my mind is our D3 coverage, our ESPN Plus broadcast actually, that we did with UW Whitewater's football team versus DePaul Tigers. Mm-hmm. That was a cold one. If you remember being in the truck for that one, you were on audio, I believe, and it was snowing. It was coming down. We got about 6 inches during the game alone, so they had people coming with shovels constantly, just covering off the yard lines just so we could continue the game. So being in the elements for one of those broadcasts was really interesting. I've never had to go up against that kind of challenge before in a live broadcast. So props to our staff, our student leaders, our whole team, our announcers for that incredible broadcast. Not only our camera operators bearing the weather with their trash bags over top of their cameras, but our sideline reporter Sam Way for bearing the cold as well. I know the truck was cold, running out hand warmers. We all really powered through for a really good broadcast.
Yeah, no, it was really great. Like you mentioned just now with weather, are there any other differences or challenges that may come with live recordings and being in the field rather than the studio?
Absolutely. I mean, it's happening live. You're getting to experience exactly what's happening with your viewer at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so it's not like a studio show where you get that post-production. What you get is what you get, so you have to be on the ball. It's a higher stakes environment, very fast paced, so you really need to be good at communicating. Obviously, you communicate in a studio show with your crew, but needing to call for shots live. Maybe someone just fell on the court for a basketball game. I need to get that shot immediately, or a reaction shot. You never know what's happening, and so being able to adapt quickly and be flexible and well communicated with your team, it makes a broadcast that much more cohesive and understanding for your viewer. But I mean, it's so fun. I love live broadcasting. I love the unknown aspect of it.
And what makes your position as a director of these live events different, and what are your responsibilities?
So my responsibilities, I feel like I have to be a jack of all trades in some sense. Obviously, everyone's learning to improve their technical skills when they're on a broadcast, but you need to know audio, you need to know graphics, you need to know how to take commercials, how to switch, how to communicate with your camera operators and your announcers sometimes if they need to wrap. You're kind of the conductor of sorts. So making sure you have a good understanding of all of your operations, who you're working with, how to effectively communicate with them. I think it's very important just to make sure everyone feels good, is having a good time, and you're putting on the show that you want to have.
And is there anything that you've specifically learned throughout your time here, that you are going to take with you in the workplace eventually?
Absolutely. I think props to Joe maybe for teaching me this, but you can't gauge your success exactly off of a last broadcast. Obviously, you want to continue to improve, not only with equipment, shots, just overall production value, but As long as your students or your staff are improving throughout a live event, maybe they have a rough start, you have replay go down or technical difficulty. As long as you continue to improve, that is a successful broadcast.
And there's a lot of stuff that's out of your control when
Absolutely.
you are at those live events, like we said earlier, weather and equipment.
Yep.
That's a completely different
Different
thing.
rodeo.
For sure. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you again for being here, Bree.
Of course.
It's really cool to see the interworkings of our favorite sports broadcasts. We'll be right back with more on Wake Up Whitewater, but first, here is our weekend weather update.
What does it mean to be a Warhawk?
It means allowing myself to dream big and think outside the box.
Pushing the limits of what I think is possible.
Seeing ideas through from start to finish.
Collaborating with professors and peers.
And seizing opportunities in the community to put my knowledge to use.
I'm studying abroad,
learning another language,
and listening to the stories of others.
I'm making lifelong friends and fearlessly sharing my gifts with the world.
As a Warhawk, I stay balanced,
take great care of myself,
and get out of my comfort zone.
I refuse to let the past determine my future.
And I'm taking confident steps in the direction of my dreams.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
And other times it couldn't be more exciting.
But I will keep my goals in mind and never quit.
Because
that's the Warhawk way.
Welcome to the Whitewater Forensics team, where we ignite voices and foster connections. With 3 to 4 hours of practice weekly, we embark on a journey of self-discovery and growth. From energizing warm-ups to passionate storytelling, we build confidence and creativity. Join our close-knit team, conquer public speaking fears, and advocate for your story. With over 100 awards annually, become part of a community where every voice matters.
You can see it. His potential, that is. You see it even when he may not. You see that the things that spark his interest today will in time ignite the things he pursues tomorrow. And ultimately, help him reach new heights. All he needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the Universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
This is Inside the Arts on UWW-TV. I'm Grace Caputo. The Department of Music presents Music Mosaics, A Nation in Harmony on Sunday, April 12th at 3 p.m. in the Light Recital Hall. Celebrate 250 years of American spirit through music that reflects our shared heritage and diversity. From beloved classics to bold new works, this patriotic concert honors the voices that have shaped our nation's soundtrack. Join us in saluting America and supporting student success, because a nation in harmony begins with a well-tuned future. Other upcoming ticketed events include Holocaust Remembrance Concert on Tuesday, April 14th at 7:30 p.m. in the Light Recital Hall, UWW Percussion Ensemble on Thursday, April 16th at 7:30 p.m. in the Light Recital Hall, Hot Choir, Harmonia, and Concert Choir on Sunday, April 19th at 7:30 p.m. in the Light Recital Hall, University and Community Band on Monday, April 20th at 7:30 p.m. in the Young Performing Arts Center, Jazz Ensemble 2 Spring Concert on Tuesday, April 21st at 7:30 p.m. in the Light Recital Hall, Jazz Combos Spring Concert on Thursday, April 23rd at 7:30 p.m. in the Light Recital Hall. Free events coming soon include Robert Remus and Nicholas Langen piano on Sunday, April 12th at 7:30 p.m. in the Light Recital Hall, Trumpet Studio Recital on Friday, April 17th at 7:30 p.m. in the Light Recital Hall, Emma Yeakley Trumpet on Saturday, April 18th at 3 p.m. in the Light Recital Hall, Carrie Kelly, violin, on Saturday, April 18th at 5 p.m. in the Light Recital Hall. Ethan Horton, percussion, on Saturday, April 18th at 7:30 p.m. in the Light Recital Hall. Tickets can be purchased in advance and are available in person via phone at 262-472-2222 or online at tickets.uww.edu. The box office is located in the Green Hills Center of the Arts and hours on Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. There is a $2 surcharge for tickets purchased at the event. Department of Music events are free for UW Whitewater students. Log into the Ticket Services website with your UWW credentials for your free ticket. I'm Grace Caputo, and this has been Inside the Arts on UWW TV.
Have you heard of URock?
We're part of Whitewater and our own thing.
Come on, we'll show you.
I learned how to be a college student here, and now I'm headed off to Madison to study global health, and I know I'm ready.
People like me who aren't a fan of big crowds would really like URock because it's welcoming and it's laid back.
My advisor helped me figure out my schedule, organize my time, fill out my FAFSA, and figure out what classes I liked and how to turn that into a major. And if I had to do it again, I would choose URock.
You ready to rock?
You belong here.
Welcome to Jitters Coffee House. Located on the first floor of the Wells Towers, Jitters is a student-run coffee lounge and offers a variety of coffee and ice cream-based drinks and is home to many entertaining programs, including live music, gamer trivia nights, and other performances. Coordinate your activity by emailing jitters@uww.edu. Jitters is completely run by volunteers who can earn service hours and even receive a free drink during their shift. Stop in tonight at Jitters Coffee House, where fun events and community come together.
Research at the Rotunda is an annual event at the Wisconsin State Capitol where students showcase their undergraduate research, connect with state legislators, and share their work with policymakers and the public. Peyton Walls has more on the story.
I'm standing today in the rotunda of the Wisconsin State Capitol, where students from across the universities of Wisconsin are presenting their research that could shape the future of the state. Over 100 undergraduate students traveled to Madison to showcase their research projects, giving lawmakers a closer look at the innovation happening across all 13 universities in the Wisconsin system. Students say this event isn't just about presenting their findings, it's also a chance to connect with other students who share the same passion for discovery.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great experience. Everybody here is like-minded individuals doing research with you. So it's good for networking, but it's also cool just to see like the project come to fruition and see, all right, I've been working on this for 2 years now and here's something cool. People are recognizing it. And I don't know, that's pretty special.
Emma explains her role is to guide students through the day, helping them meet lawmakers and gain confidence presenting their work in a professional and anxiety-inducing environment.
So I think it's a great opportunity for students to present their research here in front of the representatives and the senators. They are applying what they're learning in the classroom in their research, compiling it in a way that they can then produce something. So whether that's a paper, a presentation, a PowerPoint,
Presenting at the Rotunda is a great honor. It's an incredible resume builder, and it helps students prepare for their future endeavors. Leaders across the UW system say the event highlights just how much groundbreaking research is happening at the undergraduate level.
Well, I think it allows them to showcase the great work that they're doing, and I see the pride in our students and the work that they're doing, but I draw from that inspiration because it gives me great optimism for the future when you see our students and what they're capable of doing and what they're able to achieve and the problems that they are going to help us solve. It really is fantastic. So I'm excited about the entire event, and it's great to see the enthusiasm from our students.
Jay Rothman, president of the University of Wisconsin System, says faculty members play a key role in helping students reach this level of research. Each student is accompanied by at least one mentor who is helping to guide them in their educational achievements.
This doesn't happen without the faculty being involved, and they are dedicated, and it reflects that dedication in their students and their commitment to making sure that their students are successful.
For students presenting in the Capitol, the experience offers more than just recognition. It's a chance to share their ideas with people helping shape policy in the state.
This is why we do what we do, and it's at the Universities of Wisconsin administration. Our goal is to support our students, support our universities, because that's where the groundbreaking work and the development and this transformative experience that you get in a college education happens.
After hundreds of hours of work, students finally had the chance to put their research into the spotlight. Whether in private meetings with state representatives and senators, conversations with fellow researchers, or with members of the broader Wisconsin community.
And every year I've been here, I get even more inspired because you see the great work that's going on.
Reporting from the Wisconsin State Capitol, I'm Peyton Walls.
Thank you, Peyton. Yeah, that's an amazing opportunity, especially here in Wisconsin at the Capitol. I feel like that, is like a really big deal. Have you guys experienced undergraduate research?
I have not yet personally, but I think if there's something, especially, it's such an awesome opportunity. It's just an amazing thing. And I think if I definitely had something that I was super interested in and I wanted more people to learn about, I would definitely be interested in doing that.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. I've actually done undergraduate research, and it wasn't a topic that was completely alien to me. It was with a geology professor, and I went as a journalist. So it's something that I wasn't really comfortable with, but it gave me experience covering a subject that I've never covered before. Like I went and they were digging up fossils, and they were digging up, different geodes and minerals and stuff, and it was so cool, and I ended up falling in love with this type of science that I would have never ever experienced without undergraduate research. So it was a blast. We went to Texas. It was a great time, and I've heard a lot of stories like that. Do you think that you guys could be interested, even if it takes you out of your field, to do something like that?
After watching that, I definitely want to look more into that, find something that I'm passionate about and, research it more. I think that'd be amazing.
It's such a good opportunity to talk to higher ups in the state and really make an impact with what you're doing in school.
Exactly, yeah.
Up next, we welcome Student Body President Douglas Bradley to the studio to discuss his experience as an impactful leader and dedicated advocate for students across our campus community. You won't want to miss this conversation.
Hello and welcome to Issues and Ideas on UWW-TV. I'm Peyton Walls, and today I'm joined by Douglas Bradley, our student body president here at UW-Whitewater. Douglas, thank you so much for taking the time to be here in the studio with us this morning. Could you start off by just introducing yourself to our audience and explaining what your role is?
I got involved in student government when I was a freshman in October of 2022. I've been involved ever since, holding roles as a senator, the director of student affairs, and now as a two-term student body president. So very excited to be here. I do a lot of representation of students on campus. Many people don't know that student government is given their authority by Wisconsin State Statute 3609, Section 5. So we are a legitimate governing body that doesn't just coordinate and plan events, but actually gets involved in the governance and policy creation or redactment. So we do have a lot of work. I meet with the chancellor a couple times a month. I employ a board of 7 directors who work and meet with different executive tier leaders. And really, we're just having a great time representing students and ensuring that every voice is heard here at UW-Whitewater.
Do you have a team that has helped you get to this point, or do you think it was pretty individual?
Oh, absolutely. It's been a team. Not only my e-board, right? We have a director of student affairs and associate director of student affairs, right? It's anything that happens outside the classroom, but also an academic affairs team, so everything inside the classroom, and advising and career services. We have a PR director who helps us, get the word out about our organization, as well as our advisor who retired in January, Jan Bilgin, have been instrumental in me deciding that, I am ready, I think we can do a good job, and taking the step to run for president.
That's such a huge accomplishment. So I do want to give you that acknowledgement of,
thank you.
Wow, you did this, like you said, half your college career. That's super impressive. Do you think having that on your resume has opened up doors to new opportunities after you graduate?
I do think so, yeah. But more importantly, I think it helps me understand how the system works. The universities of Wisconsin. It helps me understand that, campus and students on campus can make real change. I consider myself blessed to be in a position to where I have these connections and I have a knowledge of how things work on campus, just from being in it so long that I can help students and put to bed some rumors and whatnot, but also ensure that some change can be made. Mm-hmm. So you might not realize, but we do play a role in your everyday life, right? Whether it's allocating your fee or getting extra services on campus, or just advocating on your behalf when you can't be in the room. We do play a large part.
It's good to know that there's a student like you out there who has a voice, who is advocating for students like your average student, like me. Mm-hmm. And while you were talking just now, it sounds like you just have so much knowledge of this position, and as you should for doing it for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of it is you learn as you go. Mm-hmm. So were you a little bit nervous maybe coming in, first day being president, and now you have this confidence? So what was that learning and that turning point for you?
But of course, there's always some nerves and whatnot. And I think the excitement of realizing that we can get a lot of work done, especially once you get something big accomplished, and even if it's not so big, once you get something accomplished for the students and the student bodies, all the better for it. The excitement and the pride overtakes any nerves you might have.
What is one of those big accomplishments that you think to yourself, wow, I can't believe I was able to do this?
Mm-hmm. Sure, well, there's a lot that the students don't know about, right? And it's things that were paused or put on hold, mainly because I wanted student feedback first.
How do you yourself balance the Douglas Bradley Whitewater student president and Douglas Bradley, just your average guy, just your student? How do you balance those two lives?
You change hats a lot, right? And sometimes there's always a part of you that will always be president when you want to just be Doug Bradley. For example, you can be in a class. And being a student in the politics, government, and law department, there's many political conversations we have. There have been people who have said, I don't think the student body president should be talking about politics. Well, I'm a student right now, right? Like I mentioned, I'm just your average student. And so it can be difficult, but I think if you can make it very clear to yourself, hey, I'm being Doug right now. Hey, I'm being president right now. As well as we have an office in the University Center. When I'm in the office, I'm the president, right? When I go home at the end of the night and walking out to my car, I'm Doug. I think if you can set some boundaries for yourself, it's much simpler than trying to do it all at once.
And as we wrap up here today, you're a senior, you're graduating in May. How are you handling being able to pass over the torch and say goodbye to this role and move on to whatever life throws at you next?
Yeah, I think, I didn't expect it, but when you become president, you have a very paternal instinct that just develops, comes out of nowhere, over the organization and the student body as a whole. And so I'm kind of scared to lose that, right? It's been, I've cared very deeply about this campus and the students as a whole and my organization. So to leave it's a little scary. But just like anybody, I'm excited to move on to new things and to hand over the reins. I think change is good, right? I don't think we should have a student body president who's been president for more than 2 years, right? And so I'm excited to get some new leadership in and see what they do for the organization. And I'm sure they'll do a fantastic job with it. The student body president is just an average student, just like you, just like anybody watching. we're just another student. We have lives, and we like to be social, and sometimes we work very long hours, and just know that there's always somebody watching out for you, even if it doesn't always feel like it.
That's great. And it's awesome that our viewers today can hear directly from you that there is someone in our corner, there's someone, watching out for us. And I'm sure as you move on to this next transition of life and things change and people move on, but you're going to have great fortune because now you have all this experience and you have Whitewater backing you up in all your future endeavors. So on behalf of the student body, thank you for all the work that you've done.
Thank you very much.
Of course. And thank you all for watching. We will be right back on Wake Up Whitewater with more. Stay with us.
Welcome to the show. Josh, let's take a look at some highlights from this last game here. What a performance by the UWW-TV staff in this one.
Absolutely. Look at this clip. Bree is going to signal for Ryan to cut to camera 2, but instead Ryan's going to cut to 3, and that's where things might take a turn. But hold on a second here. Just when you think it's over, Bree makes the split-second decision and reaches over Ryan to cut to camera 2 herself.
And the truck goes wild. Once again, the UWW-TV staff delivers.
We can see it. His relentless determination. A fiery tenacity that can't be taught. We see that what he's passionate about today will steer him toward what he studies tomorrow and ultimately fuel his future career. And all he needs now is to find the right college. Welcome to the Universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
Love to show you what it's like to be a warhawk.
Come on!
Don't miss out on your chance to be a warhawk.
At UW Whitewater.
You belong here!
The Royal Purple, the best place for all the latest news around the community and campus of UW Whitewater. Here you'll find all different types of weekly news stories, including sports, arts and rec, biz and tech, and even fun and interesting things like trendsetter columns and the tweet of the week. The Royal Purple has a full staff to handle all of your advertising and article needs. Ad managers and sales representatives can help you get your ad in seasonal print issues online at royalpurplenews.com and out on our social media platforms. Editors and journalists would love to write features about your organization and follow-ups about your important events. For more information on student employment opportunities, advertisement services, or anything news, contact the Royal Purple over at @UWW.edu or give us a call at 262-472-5100. Stop by our office and say hi on campus in McCutcheon Hall, room 113. For all of your local campus community news, check out the Royal Purple here at University of Wisconsin-Whitewater.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Come on!
Stepped it anyways. Oh, she got that off, and they're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes! Yes!
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
I'm Chase Keller, and this is your UWW-TV Sports Update. The men's and women's basketball teams wrapped up their seasons in the NCAA Tournament Regionals this past weekend. The men's team defeated Loras College 85-76 on Friday and narrowly fell to Washington University in St. Louis 74-71 on Saturday. They finished their season 21-8. The women's team beat Transylvania University 70-65 on Friday before getting knocked out by the University of Chicago 62-46 on Saturday. They finished the season 20-9. The Warhawk gymnastics team finished second in the WIAC championship on Saturday. Their 193.825 performance is the fourth best in program history, and they only placed behind UW Oshkosh, which became the first Division III team in history to eclipse 195 points. Baseball returns to the field to compete in the Studers Blue Wahoo Challenge. They play in 5 games this upcoming week, beginning with a matchup against Nebraska Wesleyan this Tuesday at 10 in the morning. And we'll have more sports on UWW-TV right after this.
Welcome to the show. Josh, let's take a look at some highlights from this last game here. What a performance by the UWW-TV staff in this one.
Absolutely. Look at this clip. Bree is going to signal for Ryan to cut to camera 2, but instead Ryan's going to cut to 3, and that's where things might take a turn. But hold on a second here. Just when you think it's over, Bree makes the split-second decision and reaches over Ryan to cut to camera 2 herself.
And the truck goes wild. Once again, the UWW-TV staff delivers.
The Warhawks softball team began their season by playing 4 games in St. Louis, going 2-0 against Rhodes College and 0-2 against Washington University. Senior outfielder Bella Eggert led the team offensively with a .364 batting average, while junior pitcher Josie Hammond had a combined 0.64 ERA in her first 2 starts. The Warhawks continue their road trip as they travel to Claremont, Florida to compete in the spring games. They kick off the invite against Springfield College on Sunday at 9 in the morning. The men's and women's track and field teams competed in various last chance meets this past weekend, with 10 athletes improving their season's best to qualify for the indoor national meets. The qualifiers were announced on Sunday, with senior Dan Anderson, junior Caleb Baytall, and sophomore Sam Vargas all qualifying for the meets. That meet will take place this Friday and Saturday. Finally, the Warhawk wrestling team will compete in the NCAA Division III Championship in Cedar Rapids, Iowa this Friday and Saturday, with 5 wrestlers taking the mat. Action kicks off at 10 in the morning. For more sports news and other updates, tune in to uwwtv.org. I'm Chase Keller, and this has been your sports update on UWW-TV.
Welcome back to Wake Up Whitewater. So the Oscars happened last weekend. What did you think of the Oscars?
Yeah, they were. I mean, it was awesome. The presentation was really good. I mean, especially for a 3-hour, entire thing. They had a bunch of stuff in between that made it watchable. Conan, being the host, did a phenomenal job. And one of those big awards that was won was for Michael B. Jordan in his role in Sinners. He actually beat out a lot of people, a lot of controversy with Timothy Chalamet in Justice. You have something to say about that, don't you?
Yeah, there was a big controversy online, a week or two before that, an interview that he did. He was talking about the opera and ballet, and a lot of people had some things to say about that. And, maybe he got taken out of context, maybe not. People say it different ways, but,
Yeah, a lot of people feel that the opera and ballet are still important arts and that he downplayed how they matter to our culture and our society.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like that is all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Wake Up Whitewater. We'll see you next week with more news, sports, and entertainment. Make sure you stay tuned to UWW-TV.